Welcome to My on Mondays, an explorative approach to the possessive my through narratives, art, and sound. Each Monday brings a new creation and unique perspective. My on Mondays is brought to you by Ming Studios, a contemporary art space and international artist residency program dedicated to the exhibition, experience, and exploration of arts and culture. Along with exhibiting artists from around the world, Ming also serves the community by hosting innovative programs including performances, workshops, screenings, readings, artist talks, and other cultural activities. For more information, or if you'd like to participate in My on Mondays, you can visit our website at mingstudios.org. Hello and welcome to today's episode of My on Mondays. Born in 1833 in Charlton Kings, England, Adam Lindsay Gordon was the son of well-to-do parents, but early on struggled to find his own way in the world. In his youth, he led such a wild life that his aimlessness caused his father to send him to Australia. The intent was to give him a fresh start, and what better place for a wild 20-year-old than with the South Australian Mounted Police, which he joined with a letter of introduction to the governor. But despite his rough start, he became known as an excellent and respectable horseman, and eventually found his way to a short stint in politics. During the years as a policeman and politician, he also cultivated a love of books and poetry, and in 1867 he published 2 volumes of poems, Sea Spray and Smoke Drift and Ashtaroth. Unfortunately, the books had little success, with the following year bringing tragedy. First, Gordon was seriously injured in a riding accident, and then he and his wife Margaret lost their only child, Annie. He published a 3rd volume of poetry in 1870, Bush Ballads and Galloping Rhymes, but by then his past tragedies and further misfortunes had driven him into severe depression. 2 days after the publication of Bush Ballads, he committed suicide. The poem we're sharing with you today is titled Wormwood and Nightshade. The troubles of life are many, the pleasures of life are few. When we sat in the sunlight, Annie, I dreamt that the skies were blue. When we sat in the sunlight, Annie, I dreamt that the earth was green. There is little color, if any, 'neath the sunlight now to be seen. Then the rays of the sunset glinted through the blackwood's emerald bough, on an emerald sward, rose-tinted and spangled and gemmed. And now the rays of the sunset redden with sullen and lurid frown from the skies that are dark and leaden to earth that is dusk and brown. To right and to left extended the uplands are blank and drear, and their neutral tints are blended with the dead leaves sombre and sere. The gold-gray mist from the still side of the lake creeps sluggish and sure. Bare and bleak is the hillside, barren and bleak the moor. Bright hues and shapes intertwisted, fair forms and rich colors. Now they have flown, if e'er they existed. It matters not why or how. It matters not where or when, dear. They have flown, the blue and the green. I thought on what might be then, dear. Now I think on what might have been. What might have been, words of folly. What might be, speech for a fool. With mistletoe round me and holly, scarlet and green at Yule, with the elm in the place of the wattle, and in lieu of the gum, the oak. Years back I believed a little, and as I believed, I spoke. Have I done with those childish fancies? They suited the days gone by, when I pulled the poppies and the pansies, when I hunted the butterfly with one who has long been sleeping. A stranger to doubts and cares, and to sowing the seeds and reaping thistles and thorns and tares. What might be? The dreams were scattered, as chaff is tossed by the wind. The faith has been rudely shattered that listened with credence blind. Things were to have been, and therefore they were, and they are to be, and will be. We must prepare for the doom we are bound to dree. Ah me, we believe in evil, where once we believed in good. The world, the flesh, and the devil are easily understood. The world, the flesh, and the devil, their traces on earth are plain. Must they always riot and revel while footprints of man remain? Talk about better and wiser, wiser and worse are one. The sophist is the despiser of all things under the sun. Is nothing real but confusion? Is nothing certain but death? Is nothing fair save illusion? Is nothing good that has breath? Some sprite, malignant and elfish, seems present, whispering close. All motives of life are selfish, all instincts of life are gross, and the song that the poet fashions and the lovebird's musical strain are jumbles of animal passions refined by animals' pain. The restless throbbings and burnings that hope unsatisfied brings, the weary longings and yearnings for the mystical better things, are the sands on which is reflected the pitiless moving lake, where the wanderer falls dejected by a thirst he can never slake. A child blows bubbles that glitter. He snatches them, they disperse. Yet childhood's folly is better, and manhood's folly is worse. Guilt baubles we grasp at blindly would turn in our hands to dross. 'Tis a fate less cruel than kindly denies the gain and the loss. And as one who pursues a shadow, as one who hunts in a dream, as the child who crosses the meadow enticed by the rainbow's gleam, I, knowing the course was foolish, and guessing the goal was pain, stupid and stubborn and mulish, followed and followed again. Sun over Gideon halted, holding aloof the night, when Joshua's arm was exalted, yet never retraced his flight. Nor will he turn back, nor can he. He chases the future fast. The future is blank. Oh, Annie, I fain would recall the past. There are others toiling and straining 'neath burdens graver than mine. They are weary yet uncomplaining. I know it, yet I repine. I know it, how time will ravage, how time will level, and yet I long with a longing savage. I regret with a fierce regret. You are no false ideal. Something is left of you, present, perceptible, real, palpable, tangible, true. One shred of your broken necklace, one tress of your pale gold hair, and a heart so utterly reckless that the worst it would gladly dare. There is little pleasure, if any, in waking the past anew. My days and nights have been many, lost chances many I rue. My days and nights have been many, now I pray that they be few, when I think on the hillside, Annie, where I dreamt that the skies were blue. Thank you for joining us today. We'll be back next Monday. Tune in.